Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Occasional Dilemma Gaming. I am Stando, and we have a lot to talk about today, so I am not going to waste any time, and we're just going to jump right into it. First, let's just talk about everybody's favorite pastime here lately, talking about loot boxes. One of these days, guys, I promise I'm going to make a video that's not about loot boxes, but for now, it's pretty much dominating the conversation within the industry, and so we have to talk about it. Again. But this time we're going to talk about how they are going to be regulated. This year has seen several attempts to grab at consumers' wallets with predatory microtransactions that are tied to gamer progressions in titles like Destiny 2, Call of Duty World War II, NBA 2K18, Shadow of War, Need for Speed Payback, but the one that got the most attention? Star Wars Battlefront 2. It is important to note, while gamers are not okay with loot boxes in earlier titles like Overwatch, at least those were only cosmetic microtransactions. The gamers are fed up with these progression tied to pay-to-win style tactics, and several lawmakers around the world, including Belgium, UK, France, Sweden, Australia, and even the US, have started investigating whether the crates are actually gambling. And while the jury is still out on that, one thing that they can all agree on is the predatory nature that could affect children who indulge in the games. I, as many other gamers, really wanted the ESRB to step up and self-regulate the industry like they have so many times, like when it comes to actually rating the games, ever since the company was first introduced in the 1990s. However, the ESRB has concluded that loot boxes aren't gambling, but important to note here that the ESA and ESRB were founded to protect game makers and not so much gaming consumers. A group of individuals calling themselves the National Committee for Game Policy, or the NCGP, has formed in reaction specifically to loot boxes and say that they are willing to defend consumers' rights. This group says that it will have a think tank division that will help provide accurate data to policymakers or whenever new regulatory legislation is being put into place. Also, the NCGP will have a self-regulatory organization which will take legal action against video game companies that have damaged the public consciousness in some way, whether it be mental or physical. It is important to know that while all of this may sound good, the committee is primarily composed of 7 individuals belonging to 2 different mobile game developers that are independently owned and may not have any leverage at all without drawing in some names from, say, like Activision or EA themselves, and also other industry leaders. Hell, the vice president is only 17, so I would take this all with a grain of salt. It all sounds good on paper, but one has to ask what the committee's true intentions and motives are. Could it abuse its power to make their games stand out more? Also, let's say they were true to their word. What kind of legal action are they actually going to seek out when the case goes viral? I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock in the NCGP, and while I think Washington should stay away from video games, if something was going to form to self-regulate games in general, it better happen sooner than later. Because I'm wondering, with major backlashes from the community and consumers this year, if it isn't already too late. And even that being said, some Washington regulation is better than no regulation at all. And in other news, Call of Duty World War II has microtransactions now. I bet you didn't see that one coming. Anywho, it seems that they were actually meant to be in the game earlier, but Sledgehammer Games wanted to get some fine-tuning so that the game didn't end up unbalanced like their other game, Destiny 2, which, if you didn't know, as it turns out, was increasing the grind after players hit that level 20 cap. Yeah, Bungie came out trying to make themselves looking like the good guys, saying that they weren't happy with the in-game balancing either. What a load of shizzle. Activision is just as predatory as EA when it comes to loot boxes, and if you don't believe that, why don't you look at 2 of their social microtransaction sharing patents that they filed earlier in the year. We haven't forgotten how they've released shells of broken games either before losing the license, like Marvel Ultimate Alliance or Tony Hawk. Yeah, doesn't matter if the game is good, we just need to make that money before the license is up. Right, Activision? And that's not even to mention the fact that Call of Duty Modern Warfare ended up behind a paywall where you had to buy another game completely just to enjoy the remastered version of the game you wanted to play in the first place. And on top of that, they added loot boxes to Modern Warfare and sold the map packs at a price double of what the originals were, when you should have included them with a freaking game to begin with. Anyway guys, there are a few more stories that I could cover here, but I found them less impressive. Like the PS4 sold more this Black Friday than PlayStation has in its entire 22 history. And Epic Games is suing some 14-year-old kid for cheating in Fortnite, and the mom isn't very happy about it. Yeah, that's a thing. Apparently they take cheating very seriously, like over the line serious. Just ban the little bastard. Anyway, what do you guys think about the NCGP? I'm curious to know if you think that this organization is going to go anywhere, or if someone else within the game industry is going to step up in its place. Also, I'm curious to know if you're like me and you just think that it's too late. Either way, let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, and remember guys that I love your face, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. But until then, have a good one. And if you're new around here, before I forget, subscribe. Catch you next time.